we already know the slack time. The slack time was the time between the termination and the next activation of a task. Now, if you subtract from the slack time the time of the execution of any other task or ISR which has a higher priority than the task that you're looking at, you will get the net slack time. So the net slack time is the sum of these two time fields where no other task is running while our task is terminated. So it helps you to measure the leftover execution time within a task's period. Now, if we want to use the net slack time as a requirement in our project, we can go into the requirements definition in the TA tool suite. We're going to select the process, the task 1 millisecond, for example. We are going to select the metric net slack time, and we are going to set a lower limit for a critical severity at 0.1 millisecond, so at 10% of the period of this task. Now, let's have a look how this requirement can look like in an evaluation. So what we see here is the Gantt chart. So we can see which task is running on which core, and whenever a task is getting activated, if we have a start delay, or if the task is running, indicated by the green color. And we can also see when the task is terminated here. Now, in our process table, we see for the task 1 millisecond, the net slack time on minimum, average, and maximum. So this already tells us, since we've set a boundary at 0.1 millisecond, on average, the net slack time is higher, but minimum slack time is 0. So there's potentially some violations of our requirement. Let's now have a look at the requirements table. We can here find our requirement on the net slack time that we have created. And we can see that in 142 cases in this measurement, we have a violation of the net slack time. So now let's zoom out a little bit and identify the violations. We can simply drag and drop this requirement into the Gantt chart. And we now get here, we can now see here our violations. So this instance is violating the net slack time requirement simply because the task is already activated again before our task, which was activated here, actually finished. So there's no net slack time left. It's 0, meaning we are violating our requirement. If you want to go to specific areas where the net slack time is violated, you can also open up a histogram, drag and drop your requirement again into the histogram, and we can now see the distribution of the net slack time of the task 1 millisecond. And we can see here there are quite many cases in which the net slack time is quite high, so we have a lot leftover space within this period. But here we can also see a lot of instances that are below 0.1 milliseconds, and we will see these as violations. So we can mark them, we can send the selection to the clipboard, and by doing so, we can now jump to any of these instances by double-clicking, and we end up directly at the point of violation in our Gantt chart, which again shows us here a similar picture. So we take longer from activation until termination, so the slack time is also again 0. That helps us now to analyze what is the reason for this kind of requirements violation. At the end of this video, I want to offer you some possibilities to stay in touch. First of all, I'm inviting you to join the LinkedIn group Runtime Analysis in AutoSAR projects, where we have a lot of experts who can help you out with this kind of issues, answer your questions, and you can of course also engage in discussions there. If you want to stay in touch with me directly, and maybe if you have some questions, please feel free to connect with me here on LinkedIn and reach out to me directly. For both, for the group and also for my profile, you can find QR codes in this video. I'm looking forward to stay in touch and hope to see you soon.